Okay, so we are going to be working with Scratch today. So make sure you have Scratch open. Oh, well, one more thing. Since we're going to continue with our AI program, we're going to continue with the program we had. So I'm going to post on the comments. So just on the comments, of the chat, I mean, take a look at the link. Click on the link. It should show you a program for Scratch. So just you can just click Remix, so you can have it on your end, and you can edit it. You just click Remix, and you should have the project, and you can play with it. Just click on Remix, and then just play around with it. So this is what we have done so far. Started yesterday, and we're gonna continue from yesterday. Okay, there's only three enemies in the beginning. The rest we didn't do because we had other things. But other than that, the level is fully playable. You have high score, health, and how many items have we collected. Okay, let me know when everyone has it. Okay, does everyone have it? So we can start. Again, all you have to do is just click on the link and then click on Remix, and you should have the project. Okay. And again, you can play around with it just to see what's going on, but we're going to start our project. Okay. Now, take a look at my screen first. So what we want to do is we want to make a smarter AI. Our first AI detects the distance between us and itself. And depending on that distance, it's going to, in this case, this guy is going to shoot. So I have a wizard that's going to shoot fireballs at me. If I get near him, you see he starts shooting fireballs at a random rate. So, and then I have health. My health right now is at 4, 3, and every time I get hit, my health goes down, and then that happens. So if I'm far away, he's not going to do anything until I get close to a proximity. Then he starts shooting. Then if I touch him, I lose health, and then he also disappears. Okay, and then when I touch the hearts, it gives me more health. And then when I touch the coin, I collect the items. And then when I touch the spikes, I reset. Okay. So that's just the basics of the game. So what I want to do is I want to make an enemy where I'm close to, let's just say I'm close here and the enemy is on top. And when I'm close, it's going to drop down and kind of um, yeah, touch the player. So it's going to subtract health. Okay, so the enemy is just going to stick around to the top and then it's just going to fall. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to make a new script. So, no, sorry, new sprite. So let's choose a sprite, and choose a sprite, and then here you can choose any sprite you want. Again, this sprite is gonna drop from the top to the bottom. So it's going to be falling from the top to the bottom, kind of squishing the
Wait,
player. Mm-hmm.
something's kind of wrong with mine.
What's wrong?
Like with the things that heal, there's 6 of them, and 3 of them don't move. But they're floating.
The hearts? Are you using mine? Are you using my the ones I just shared, or are you using yours?
Mine.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look at your project. Can you share your screen so I can see what's going on? Yeah, so for everyone else, just make sure you look for a sprite. I'm going to choose a lightning bolt that's going to fall from the top, from the sky, and it's going to fall to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to click on the lightning bolt, and this is going to be my my other enemy. Okay, okay. Let's take a look at Min's. Okay, Min, what's wrong?
Look, they're floating.
The Dragonfly 2 thing. Okay, can you stop playing? Yeah. Let's see. What does this do? Can you move a little bit to the left on your code? Okay, you're repeating 3 times, and press hide. Move a little bit to the right. Okay, go down. Down. Okay, there. Okay, so you have the clone IDs 1, 2, and 3. Um, you have the right math. Yeah, it's minus and then plus. Um, can you scroll to the left again? Let's go to the left. Yeah, move to the left. Yeah. Change clone ID by 1. Okay. That's interesting. Can you take off that go to block? The one that says go to, and then, yeah, that one, remove it. The go to. Yeah, and just have that. Try it now. Okay, it looks like it's working.
So we need to fix it so the thing's not in the dragonfly. Like that.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like sometimes the back, like they're still floating.
Hmm. But you only created 3 though. Why is it floating?
New one. Remove this.
Can you scroll down for a bit in your code? Mm, can you go up? Where do you have a switch costume? Do you have a costume change? There you go. With the first one, you see it says level 1, part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, change that to Dragonfly 2. Yeah, take out a. Yeah, okay, now press play. See if that helps.
It's true. No, they're still floating. They're still floating. And if I drag it, no health.
Okay, stop playing. Let's go back to your code. Scroll down a little bit on your code. Um, Scroll up just a bit. Okay, you have a forever if, and this should be working. Oh, there's a piece of code. Do you see the blue block that's after the forever? Yeah, remove that block. You don't need that block. Oh, yeah, that one. I'll try it now.
They're still they're still floating. And it's
Mm,
even if I die.
is this? Oh, is there another location that you're calling create? Can you look around in your code?
I don't see any other create.
Can you go down and see what the bottom code says? Mm, I have no idea why the things are popping up. Uh, and you're only making 3 clones, right?
Yeah.
Can you share this project again? And then give me the link so I can see it.
Okay. I'll send you the link.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Okay, I figured it out, Min. Yeah, I figured it out. Okay, the reason why it's you still have your code for the enemy in here, where he's making himself a clone. So this one, do you see my screen? You see this block all the way to the right, the when I start as a clone and it says forever set type and all that stuff. This one you have to erase. So delete it, and then your project should work. Your other basket shouldn't, or your basket shouldn't just appear randomly, because those are other clones that you're trying to make. Does it work now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's go back to what we were doing. So let's click on the lightning. So everyone, is everyone okay to move to start? Because we're gonna start the project. Okay. So we have the lightning. The
Wait,
lightning. I'm gonna.
wait, can you pause? I'm not done yet. I haven't
Okay.
closed the other
Okay. Just let me know when you're ready, so we can move on. Everyone else, just make sure you're ready, because if you fall behind, it's not good.
Ready?
So, like I said, I selected a lightning bolt. So with this lightning bolt, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it smaller. So instead of 100, I'm going to reduce this to 60. And this is the size of my object. Okay. Now let's go to our program. Sorry, let me continue sharing my screen. Okay, so let me let's start our program. So with our program, what we're gonna do is so this one is going to imitate what the other objects are doing. What the wizard is doing. One is going to detect how far the object is, and depending on how far the object is going to act on it. Okay, so to do that, let's start with when the flag is clicked. We need to make our variables. So here on our lightning bolt, we're gonna click on events when the flag is clicked, and we want to center it. So we want our master one to go to 0, 0. So go to 0, 0. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a block. Okay, a my block. So let's go to my block. Okay, and we're going to create a block, make a block, and then the name of the block is just going to be called create falling, or just create, I guess, just create. And then make sure you check on run without screen refresh. Okay, and then press OK. And now you have defined create. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to set two variables. The first one is where our level is going. So if you look at if you go to variables, we're going to create a variable. So make a variable. The first variable we're going to call is level X. So we're going to click on variable, make a variable, and then for this sprite only. Okay, make sure you click on this one for this sprite only. And the name of the variable is going to be called level X. Okay. And then we're going to press OK. Okay. So once we have this variable, we're going to grab a set block, and we're going to set after we go to 0, 0, 0, we're going to set level X to 0. Okay. And then we're going to call create, and then we're going to hide. So go to looks and then hide. Okay. So make sure you have this this part done. Okay. Before we move on. Okay, the next step is each of our, let me zoom in for a bit so you guys can see this better. Hey, each of our clones, just like our wizard and our heart, is going to have an ID. So we're going to create another variable, and we're going to call it a clone ID. So basically IDing what number of the clone are we dealing with. So let's go to variables. We're going to create a variable, and again, we're going to click on for this sprite only, and the name of this variable is type ID. Okay, and we're going to press OK. And we're gonna set our ID, so type ID. We're gonna set it to 0. Okay. Sorry, not 0, 1. 0, we start at 1. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create our enemy, our lightning bolts. So for now, we're just gonna create 3, just for example. So we're gonna go to control and then grab a repeat block, and we're gonna repeat this 3 times. Inside the repeat block, what we're going to do is, of course, create a clone of myself. So we're going to click on create a clone of myself. And then after we create a clone of myself, because this is a scrolling game, each clone has to go to their own kind of section. So we need to add 480 to our level X. And that's going to be our position for this clone. So we're going to go to variables, and we're going to change level X by 480. Okay. And we're going to also change our type ID by 1. Okay. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to finish this up.
Ready?
Okay. So once we have this, the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out what we're going to do with our clone. So now that our clone is set, one, we need to give it its position. So we need to put it in the world, depending on what clone it is. Because if you take a look, if I go to costumes and then take a look at the lightning bolt is going to be right in the center of your screen. So that's good. But if I go to things like pain, you see, stuff in pain is not centered. The triangles are they're scattered. Or if I go to collectibles, and I go to 1, 2, or 3, you'll see that the coins are going to be scattered. They're going to be around around the canvas. Okay, see how they're not centered. So what we're going to do with our lightning bolt is we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to deal with location. So on your code, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a when I start as a clone. So let's grab a when I start as a clone. So when I start as a clone, okay. And what we want to do is we're going to say forever. We're going to change our position depending on our level X. So here we're going to go to forever. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to change our position. So here we're going to say if, oh, well, before doing that, we're actually going to hide and show and hide. So we're going to click, we're going to grab an if else. Okay. And this if else, we're going to put it inside our forever. And what we're going to check is, are we are we at the point where we can show ourselves? If we're not, then we're going to hide. So to do this, we're going to grab operators. So one, we need to grab our absolute value. So we're going to click on abs of, and then we're going to subtract. So we're going to grab a subtraction. Oops, subtraction. Okay. And we're going to grab a comparison greater than. Okay. So the numbers that we're going to plug in here is absolute value of scroll X minus level X. Okay. So these ones, we're going to grab it through variables. So we're going to grab scroll X. It should be there. Okay. And then the new variable called level X, I'm going to put it there. Okay. So it should look something like this. Scroll X minus level X. And we're going to put this inside absolute value. So we want the absolute value of this number. And if this number is greater than 480, so we're going to put this here. So if this is greater than 480, going to put this here. We want to hide. Okay. So here we're going to go to looks, and then we're going to hide. Else, if we're less than this number, that means we're on the screen. We're going to show ourselves. Okay. So make sure you have this this part. Okay. Now the next part, what we're going to do is we're going to check if we're going to move to our location. So here we're going to grab an if block. So we're going to grab if, and we're going to check who we are. Depending on who we are and what's our ID, that's going to be our position. So we're going to say if, and we're going to grab an equal sign, and we're going to grab a variable type ID. So if type ID equals 1, that means this is my first clone. I'm going to put it here. Okay, and I'm going to duplicate this 3 times because we have 3 clones for now, because we are repeating 3 times here. Okay, so if type ID equals 1, type ID equals 2 and 3. So 2 here, and 3 here. Okay, each one is going to have their own position. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we're going to grab a go to. So we're going to go motion, and we're going to grab a go to block. Okay, and we're going to insert it on each one. Go to, and go to. Okay. Now, our position here, it has to change depending on where we're scrolling, and our Y position also has to change. It's going to be constant because it always wants to stay in one location unless we get near it. Once we get near it, then it's going to fall on us. So here, if I put go X to 0, it's always going to stay at 0, and then when I scroll, this is going to pass by us and it's going to float. So we don't want that. So instead, we want to do the calculation. So we go back to operators and we say, we grab the minus sign, and we grab our variables. And this one is going to be level X minus scroll X. Okay. So make sure you have these two in the correct order. Okay. This order does matter. So make sure you have it in the right order, or else it's going to give you a wrong position. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is this is our main location. And now what we need to add is our offset. How or where do we want to move? So we go back to operators and we're going to grab a plus sign.
I have a problem.
What's your problem?
It says that it couldn't save.
Your Scratch can't save?
Project could not save.
Let's see. If I click on save now. Mine saves. It might be your internet, maybe. Let me see. Do you want to share your screen?
Okay. This.
Okay, let's take a look. Click on try again. Can you ignore it for now? Can you do some? Can you continue with your work?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So just ignore it for now. That just means you have bad connection to Scratch. That doesn't have to do anything with the code. My Google Chrome decided. Guys, I'll be back. My Chrome crashed. I'll be back. Yeah, sorry about that. My thing just crashed. Okay, so let's go back to my thing. So just like I said, Tony, just ignore it for now. It's
Okay.
bad connection to the server. Hopefully it'll go away. Okay, so let's go back. So here we have our things, right? So the next thing we need to do is we need to add our offset. So we have our plus sign, and we're going to grab our level X and put it here on the first one, and then the plus sign is going to be empty for now. Okay. Now, once we have that, we're going to put this inside the X. So make sure you put this in the hole for X, and it's going to give you this. It's going to say it's going to be go to level X minus scroll X plus blank Y negative 69. Okay. What we're going to do is the X, we're going to leave it at 0, and the Y, we're going to change it to 150. So see in your screen, when you click 150, the lightning bolt is just going to go up. Okay. And that's good. We want our lightning bolt to be up there. Okay. You are going to see other lightning bolts. Basically, these are your other clones. So we're going to deal with them right now. So make sure this is 0. Okay. And we're going to duplicate this block, the green block, the one we just made. And we're going to put it on the other X. And then same thing with the other X. Okay. And for these ones, I'm just going to put random numbers for now because I just want them off the screen. I'm going to put 150 here and then 50 here. The other one's going to be 90 and negative 50. Okay. So for now, just you can copy these numbers or you can put random numbers. It doesn't matter. We want these things to go away. Okay. So when you press flag, now there's only should be one lightning bolt. So if you see my screen, you see how there's one lightning bolt. That's the what you see. That's what you should see in your screen. And when you move, your lightning bolt moves with your whole world. Okay. And that's good. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to catch up. Make sure you have all these three scripts in your lightning bolt. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
Okay, I'm waiting for everyone else. Are you ready to move on, Tony?
No. No. Okay.
All right, let's move on. So okay, so now we have these three objects, their location. So the one we care about right now is the first one, okay? Because we're dealing with the first one to detect us. So after we have our location, the next thing we need to do is this thing has to detect how far are we from the sprite. So how far is the enemy away from the sprite? So here we're gonna grab another clone when I start as a clone because it's a good idea to kind of separate everything. So when I start as a clone, what I want to do is I want to forever check if and this is a new one. This one, if you go to sensing and then look for distance, this one will tell you the distance between an object. In this case, this one is saying mouse pointer. Here we're going to look for sprite 1. Okay, distance to sprite 1. And here we're going to grab an operator and we're going to say less than. Okay, so we're going to put this in here. Let me move this a little bit to the left. Make zoom in. Okay, so start as a clone forever if, and then the distance between sprite 1 is less than, here by default is 50. We're going to leave it at default so we can see what our distance, what distance we can do. Okay. Um, After this, we are going to, here we're going to put all our information to fall. Right now, we're not going to do it because we want to take care of the distance first. So we're just going to leave this blank for now. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on save. So we're going to look, save, and we're going to duplicate the distance to sprite 1 and then put it here. Okay. Now the whole purpose of this, so if you press play, you see when you start moving, your lightning bolt is now saying a number. So when you get close to it, it's the closest number you can get is 219. That's the closest you can get to it. And then when you start moving left, the number starts getting higher, or moving right, the number starts getting higher too. So we want to give a good kind of distance, like what distance does the character have to be for the lightning bolt to fall down? So for me, I think, let's see, maybe 220. Yeah, 220 looks like a good number. So here I'm going to change 50. Instead of 50, it's going to be 220. Okay. And this is going to be my distance. Okay. If you want another number, that's fine. Just make sure you take a look at the say block, and then it tells you how far the object is. If you want a bigger number, that's fine. If you want a smaller, that's fine too. Okay. Once you have it, once you figure out your number, remove the say block. You don't need it anymore, and we're gonna continue here. Okay. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to figure it out. Let me know when you're ready. Is everyone ready to move on? Did everyone find their number? All right, guys, we need to move on. So just use 220 if you didn't find your number. Okay, so once we have our distance, what we need to do is now we need to drop our object. So with our object, we're going to run into an error if we just drop the object. Reason why, take a look at what's happening here on our when I start as a clone. This is going through a forever block, and this position is always being changed. So if I try to drop the object, my position keeps changing back to 150. So what we need to do is we need to tell this code that if we are not falling, then go back to the location. If we are falling, then don't do this location. So we're going to create another variable, and this variable is going to be called falling. So falling is going to be either a 0 or a 1, 0 being yes, it's 0 being no, it's not falling, or 1, yes, falling. So let's go to variables. We're going to create another variable. So click on make variable for this sprite only, and then the name of this variable is going to be called falling. Okay, and then press OK. Now, the next thing we need to do is here on our if statement, we are going to change our falling value. So here we're going to check our falling value. Sorry. So first we're going to grab our set block. So we're going to set, and then it's going to be on top when I start as a clone. And we're going to set falling. Oh wait, did I create this as a? Yeah, it is. Make sure you create it as a for this sprite only. So this one's going to say set falling to 0 because it's not falling. So make sure it's 0. Okay. And then here we're going to grab an AND block, A-N-D, and we're going to check if falling, so falling equals 0. Okay. If falling equals 0 and type equals 1, oops, I'm going to put this whole block in there, then it's going to change this location. Okay. If it's not, if falling is 1,
Guys, I think I might have put the variable on the wrong sprite.
okay, I'll give you a couple of seconds.
Ready?
Okay. So here we have if equals type 1 and falling equals 0. So now what we need to do is we're actually going to change this if block. Instead of just having a normal if, it's going to have an if else. So we're going to grab an if else block, and we're going to change this to go here. And our for loop, our go to, it's going to go here. Okay. We're going to ignore the rest for now. I'm going to attach this back. Okay. Now that we have this, our else block has to only change our x, not our y. So we're going to go to our motion block, and we're going to click on set x2, and we're going to duplicate everything that's inside the green. So we're going to duplicate and then put it here, set x to this number. Okay. So now when you press play, now this thing still moves with you. Okay, so that's exactly what we want. So we're good. Okay. So now here, on this clone, if the distance is less than 220, we need to change our falling to yes. So set falling to 1. Okay. So make sure you set the falling to 1. Okay. Once you set falling to 1, the next thing we need to do is we need to start making it fall. So we're going to grab a motion block. Or sorry, before the motion block, we want to repeat this a couple of times. So we're gonna. I'm sorry.
Slower, you're going a little bit fast.
Okay. So I'm gonna pause here then.
Ready?
Okay. Okay. So like I said, we have our set falling to 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a repeat block, and we're going to put it right under the set falling to 0, because we want to repeat an action a certain amount of time. So we're just going to leave it at 10. Okay. Then we're going to grab a motion block, and we're going to change our y. So change y by, and we're going to do -20. Okay. So if my distance is less than, then it's going to start falling down, because my falling is 1. Okay. After,
Can you pause?
can I pause again? Okay. Okay, guys, I need to move on. Okay. Um, okay, so we have changed y by -20. After we do that, what we need to do is we need to have our object fall and then wait for a couple of seconds. So we're going to grab a control block and then we're going to grab a wait block. And then we're going to put it right after our repeat. Okay. For here, you can put how many seconds you want to wait. I like doing random seconds. So I'm going to pick a random number. And I'm going to pick a random number between 3 and 5. So wait, pick a number between 3 and 5, and then we're going to wait that many seconds. Okay. The next thing we need to do is we're going to do exactly the same, except instead of going down by -20, we're going to go up 20. So we're going to duplicate this. Okay. Repeat 10. And then here, instead of 20, it's going to, instead of -20, it's going to be regular 20. Okay. And then finally, the last part is setting our falling back to 0. So we're going to set after wait, so set falling to 0. Okay. Now, when you press play, see your lightning bolt is it's still up there, but when you get close, the lightning bolt falls, and then it's going to go back up. It's going to wait a couple seconds, and then it's going to detect you again, and it's going to fall. Okay. And then here I can move, and my lightning bolt will move with the world. Okay. So that's the cool thing about the having this if statement, this block where you still set your x to the correct world location. Your y is the only one that's changing because we have this condition. Okay. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to finish copying this part, and then we'll continue. Okay, so once you have this falling block, the next thing we need to do is, of course, we need to detect if the player or if the thing touched the player. So if the thing touched the player, of course, we need to subtract health. Okay, now here's a problem. If this thing touches it, if this thing touches the player, right, the player is still on this object, and that means the lightning is going to keep taking health over and over again. Okay, we don't want this to disappear because technically the cat can't destroy the thing that's falling. Only in this game it can only destroy the guys that are shooting, but the lightning bolt should always stay on. So no matter what the lightning bolt is doing, If the cat touches the lightning bolt, then it's going to subtract health. So to fix this problem, we are going to add a delay every time it damages us. So let's grab a when I start as a clone. So when I start as a clone here, and of course we're gonna check forever because we want to check, are we touching the cat? So we're gonna say if sensing touching cat, touching sprite 1, which is my cat. Okay. So if this touches the cat, what I want to do is I want to subtract some health. So we're gonna go to variables and we're gonna change, and instead of collected, we're gonna click on health to change health by negative. I'm gonna do negative 2. Okay. So every time you stand on it, it's gonna subtract to health. Now the thing I was talking about having a delay, so because this will constantly. So if you take a look here, and if I click on touch the lightning bolt, see how my health quickly goes to 0. That's not what I want. I want it to keep doing damage, but at a slow rate. So we're gonna grab a control, and we're gonna go to wait 1 second. Sorry, instead of 1 second, let's do 0.5 seconds. So 0.
Wait, something's wrong.
Okay. Okay. So just put 0.5 and that should work. What's wrong, Min?
Um,
And share your screen.
Look, the fire, like it doesn't move. It doesn't move. The fire doesn't move away. It doesn't move like that.
What do you mean it doesn't move?
Like it's just like sometimes it just sticks to my cat. Like that. And then constantly lose health.
Is this? Can you save your project? I'm gonna click on the link again so I can see it. Oh, I disconnected. Can you share the thing again? Yeah, on the chat, the link on the chat. Just paste it. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's take a look at your project. So you're saying your fire is continuously moving. Let's take a look at this. Oh, I see. You forgot the second part after go to. So let me see your screen. So go to your fire. Go to your scratch. What are you doing, mean? Okay, go to your fire. Okay. Can you go up? Can you go up right there? So there, we have a go-to, and then what we need to do is we need to put the change x2. Yeah, set x2. So go to motion. Okay, and we're going to grab a set x2. Yeah, and we're going to put it right after an else. Else. And then we're going to duplicate what's the green stuff, and then we're going to put it in there. So no, the thing on top. Yeah, we're going to duplicate the green stuff. Yeah, duplicate. And then put it down there. Perfect. Okay, now try it out. Does it work? So remember, we only did the first one. With the second one, we have to fix it. Are we good?
Yeah.
How's it work, Min? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does everyone else's work? Does anyone need have any questions? Okay. So we're gonna move on to making our second and third lightning bolt. So here, this piece of code that we removed, we're actually going to delete it. So just grab this whole piece that we just took off, or that we took off a while ago when we added the falling. We're going to remove it and then take it out. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to duplicate what we have here. So if, and we're going to duplicate and put it right under, and we're going to duplicate it again for the third one. Okay. Because again, we're only doing three blocks for now. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to change is the type ID. So this one's 1, this one should be 2, and this one should be 3. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Once we have that, let's press play. Our lightning bolt works on the first one, but the second one, well, actually, you know what? The second one looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. So if yeah, I just fell down. I'm able to move. I triggered it. Destroyed my my guy. Okay, and then the third, I'm gonna work on the third lightning bolt because the second one looks good. The position where it's at. If you want to change it, again, all you need to do is just change your X and our Y here. And then for our third one, I am going to change it. I'm going to put it more to the right after the heart. So on my X, I'm gonna put. Oops, I died. Okay. So I'm gonna put, let's see, my lightning bolt instead of 0, I'm gonna do maybe 100. Okay, it looks like 100 is up over there. Maybe let's try 150. I think that looks good. What, I'm gonna put it in the middle of the falling thing. So instead of 150, let me do 200. 300. No, 250. 225 maybe. So 225 looks good. So these are my numbers that I'm using for my lightning. So my first lightning is 0, 150. Second one is the same thing. The third one is different. The third one is 225 and 150. So now when I go here, my lightning bolt is here in this open area, and that's good. So now this thing falls down, and it takes health from me, and then of course it resets me. Now let me reset, and looks good. Second one is there, and the third one is there.
Wait,
Perfect.
50 clones.
What was that?
15 clones.
If you do 15 clones, you have to do this 15 times.
Because it's a repeat 15 with the create clone of myself in it.
Thực ra em nghĩ là em phải biết là cái hàm nghĩa nó.
Because the create clone of myself isn't the repeat 15.
It is right here. When you say repeat clone, you repeat 3 times. Yeah, so again, if you want to put 15, that's fine, but you have to do all those if statements on your own, because those 15 statements are you have to do the 15 times, and that's fine. You just have to do this on your time. Okay. Do you have any questions, Min or Tony or Isaac? Do you guys have any questions about this project yet?
No.
No? Okay. So one last thing we're gonna do. Oops. One last thing we're gonna. What's going on? Okay. Let me. Okay. One last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put a timer in our game. So our timer is just gonna keep track of how much time has gone by. This is including with the high score. How much time, how much steps have you taken? Okay. Actually, yeah, we're gonna do a quick timer. So with all these lightning bolts, let's remove these variables because we don't need to see them. So just click on lightning, go to variables, and just remove them. Just uncheck them. So let's see, we don't need falling, we don't need type ID, and we don't need level X. Okay. So we should just have these 4 boxes: collected, health, and keeping track of high score. Okay. Now let's click on the cat because the cat is going to be that's our main player, so that's going to keep track. It's going to keep track of our time. Okay. So with our cat, this is fairly simple. Again, we did this in the second game or the third game we created. So one, we have to reset our time. So when we start the flag, oops, sorry. When we start the flag, we need to reset time. So we're gonna make a new block here. We're gonna go to events when the flag is clicked, and we're gonna grab. We're gonna go to sensing, and we're gonna reset. The sensing, or is it motion? Oh yeah, so it's on sensing. It's a reset timer. Okay. So when the flag is clicked, reset timer. What is it?
Nothing.
Okay. So when the flag is clicked, we're gonna reset the timer. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep track of this time. So here we can check the timer, and the timer should be going up. Now what we want to do is this timer, we want to round the number. So to do that, we're going to go to operators, and we're going to round. And we're going to make a variable. So we're going to click on make variable. And this one is for all sprites. So just make sure you make this variable for all sprites. And we're going to call it current time. Okay. So current time for all sprites, and press OK. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to grab a forever block, and we want to set this timer's time to our variable. So we're gonna say set, and we're gonna change this to time, current time. So we're gonna set current time to, and we go to sensing, and we're gonna grab timer. Okay, we're gonna uncheck timer here. Okay, so now our time, current time, is it showing? Yeah. So now our timer should now be working. It should be going up. How many seconds has gone through? So here, the easiest thing we can do is after we set our timer to this, we have to round our number. So here we can just click, we can just grab our timer and put it inside round, and we're gonna click on, we're just gonna put it on round. So when we press play, now the only number you're gonna see is just that digit. We're not gonna see decimals. So now the timer is slowly going up, okay? Now, how are we gonna reset this? How do we reset time? To reset time, we're gonna do the reset timer only when I receive reset. So here, I'm gonna restart. So here you see there's a block called restart. That's where we're gonna set our restart timer. So we're gonna grab our reset timer and put it here. And now when we play, every time we lose, so my time is going up right now. It's 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and so on and so forth. Now when I lose, my timer goes back to 0, and my timer starts counting up again. Okay. Now I can collect, and then I fall, and then my timer goes back to 0. Okay. And then there we go. Now, what if you want to do, let's just say, a countdown? So instead of how much time has passed by, let's just say you have 60 seconds to complete the whole map. So to do that, one, we need to set our current timer to a variable, so a number, I mean. So we're going to grab a set block and put it after reset timer. And we're going to go to current time, and we're going to set our current time to whatever time we want. So I'm going to put 60 for 60 seconds, okay? And then here, this is going to be a little bit complicated. We need to subtract itself and put that into itself. So that's going to be the new current time. So here we're going to grab a minus sign, and we're going to subtract 60 minus how much time has passed by, okay? So now we grab that and put it inside our timer. So now this is going to be our current timer in our time. So now when I press flag, now you see I have 60 seconds, and then 59, 58, 57, 56, and now the timer is counting down, okay? So now we have a good countdown timer, okay? And there we go. And yeah, if I touch this, I reset. Perfect. Okay, so our timer is currently it's working. Okay. Because this time, oh yeah, this time always sets to 60. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So do you guys have any questions about all the stuff we've done so far? Our collecting and our enemy AI, our smarter AI. Min, Tony, you guys have any questions? Are you guys still working on this? Okay, so actually, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to finish copying this. Maybe you guys are still copying this. Okay, so hopefully you guys finished that part. So do you guys have any questions left? Okay, so it sounds like you guys don't have any questions. So that is it for today, guys. Yeah, we'll see you hopefully next time. All right, thanks for coming, guys.
I have a question that's not related to this program.
Okay, what's your question?
How can I share projects?
To share projects. So are you still seeing my screen, right?
Yep.
So take a look at my screen. So here it should say share. It should say share. It's an orange button. So something like this. You see how it says orange? Just click on share, and now everything, the whole project is shared. So now whoever you want to share this with, just type in this this address, and then send it to them, and then they click on it, and then they should be able to see your project.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's it, guys. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you guys next time.